nobody like this. You ain't seen nobody like this. You hear my sound all over town singing. Whoa. You ain't seen nobody like this. You ain't seen nobody like this. You hear my sound all over town singing. Whoa. I think there's something in the water. If you wanna take a sip, but be careful what you wish for. The faint of heart can't handle it. Everybody wants a piece of someone else's prize, but it ain't free, it don't come cheap. Only the strongest will survive. You ain't seen nobody like this.
Good evening and welcome to San Antonio Soccer Roundtable. My name is Harry. Joining me tonight, Rafa. How are you?
Pretty good. How are you?
Doing all right here. And down on the bottom, Robert. What's going on?
I am doing spectacular. The work week is over. Time to enjoy the weekend, spend some time off, enjoy family, friends. And
So
some
you say
footy.
it's time to pop a top? So I think this is 1 week where it paid off for everybody's schedules to not work out. Royce was scheduled to be on, but Royce was unfortunately not getting his schoolwork done. So unfortunately, he has to stay late at the office on a Friday night. So Royce, miss you. Hopefully you're doing all right, and we'll see you next week.
Force them
Sunday,
out.
Monday, we'll probably have to discuss because we got a game on Tuesday against Colorado. Initial thoughts on the week. We'll start with you, Robert. What's your initial thoughts?
I mean, basically, like I'm ready for the game. It's been a minute. Like I said, I missed the last one. I was at some football contests, so I'm even more eager about tomorrow to kind of take a look at Johnny handball and give him some hell, and hopefully pull out 3 points. It's always the goal.
Rafa, how was your week?
Good. Just looking forward to this game to kind of seal the deal against New Mexico, give them a bump in the road, and hopefully clinch the Copa Tejas Shield too. I think we're like close to it, and then also getting closer to clinching the Western Conference as well as the number 1 seed.
Yeah, as far as the Shield, we're 1 point away, I believe. So if we win, we should clinch it. Or if Austin drops any points, I know they won midweek for here against RSL, which Diego, Diego started, the player from El Paso, although he's thinned out a little bit going up to Salt Lake here compared to being in El Paso. So
no more Chicos Tacos for him, I guess.
Stick to the gullet. They'll stick to the gullet.
So, Matt, hello. Let's go. That's right. So let's get into it here. Let's talk about San Antonio, San Diego. I guess we could start with the lineups here. Let me see if I can get this pulled up here correctly. I didn't have that page saved up here. And then we'll do that here. So while I'm pulling this up here, Rafa, you want to talk about the lineups here?
Yeah, this lineup was a little bit different because we had some injuries up top. Even the formation was different. We went with a 4-4-2, which made sense since we didn't have Patino and Dylan. So let's say we'll have a Deadrin up and Nacho up, so it made sense. And then it was kind of caught off guard with Collier on the wing. I would think he'd be up top. We'd maybe play a 4-3-3, but I guess Marcina has confidence in him playing that outside, midfield, and then like I said, we have Perron on the other side, and then the usual tandem of PC and Abu in the middle, taking care of business, and then Maloney playing back. I think this is probably the first time he's played defense in a while because he's been playing on the wing all season long. So he drops back because like I said, we still have that injury with Garcia, and then like I said, we have Tanner, Manley, and then also Gomez to round up the back four, and then with Jordan there in the box. So, like I said, it was an interesting lineup. Like I said, maybe that's something that Marcina kind of game planned, because I know how they game planned on us the first time around. I said maybe okay, let me kind of give them a taste of their own medicine and do a game plan on them and see what they can react, because it did hurt us, like I said, on the first game on certain areas, which we'll talk about.
And we also got to forget Jasir Kamiri was out due to yellow card suspension. For that here, Fabian Garcia was out as well with injury. So little bit thin on center backs. And if you listen to SAFC's podcast this week here, they were also very happy that Marcina didn't try to force somebody into a center back position that's not traditionally a center back, like he's done a couple of times. So, Robert, I know you were out cheering on the Colts and Texans, and that wonderful soccer match, right? Because it ended up in a draw, 2020.
Yeah, it was a tie. Yeah, it was like the worst part is I was trying to watch my Vikings like immediately after, and that was the game plan. Then it went to overtime. And I was like, man, I just can't bail on my friends. This is like sitting there. I had to pull it up on my phone. I'm like literally watching this game instead of what's going on in the one in front of me. No, but it was fun though. And I mean, to speak to the lineup, it's par for the course. Like as always, it's a new lineup, new people, new situation, and you can't ever like. I mean, you can criticize, but if you get the result, you get the result. So. I mean, that's the bottom line. I think SAFC may not have their prettiest style, but we're results oriented. So, I mean, at the end of the day, I was happy about it.
We'll just say Nicholas Murray. I think he probably fired up San Antonio FC by just saying that he almost insinuated that San Diego was the better team, and along those lines. We'll see here, but
we got super lucky. We got super lucky. We accidentally scored.
So kickoff, decent crowd. I think one of the highest crowds attended. I know the video early doesn't show it, but unfortunately there isn't a lot to show in the second half. But
I think the interesting thing about this game, I think this is the first time we played a 4-back. Because mostly we've been playing 3-back. I think this is the first game we ever played with a 4-back
in a while, and I think early it showed. So Guido didn't take advantage, and we've seen this before. What a pass! I have to give credit to the goalie for the save.
Yeah. Nice shot by Collier.
It's almost like if he could
anything different that he could have done.
Hold it back right there, because that guy's committed to sliding. Pull it back.
Camden Riley.
Yeah. Or if you look, I see where the goalie's at. He could have gone maybe near post. I don't think he would have anticipated the near post shot, because he looks like he's ready. Because
he's kind of almost out of position. Yeah, almost out of position. Yeah.
So if he takes a shot near post, maybe I guess he gets that one in. But
it's a quality shot, though.
It's a quality shot. It's a good save by the keeper too.
We're just nitpicking on it. Just the reason why I asked that is to see if there's other opportunities that they can do it. But I think this was a great foreshadowing on Collier's goal, though.
By Looney.
And I will say Nick Moon being subbed out in the 38th minute played a huge part in this game, because as we saw right there, he was very creative. He is one of their better players. He's one of the better players in USL, and for them to lose him matter. Your thoughts on them losing Nick Moon, Rafa, and how that kind of changed things for them?
Yeah, their strategy had to change a little bit, because, like I say, he's kind of their go-to guy as far as setting up the attack. And like I said, we're playing shorthanded too, so we're out with some of our top guns. So we still have to adjust. But you got to say, I think that affected San Diego's strategy as far as in their attack. They kind of look lost, and except whoever made the comment that they dominated. I mean, you can watch the video. Without him, they look lost and couldn't generate any type of offense.
So
he gives us fits all the time. Like even the last game, he was the one more so their creator. The three guys that worry me in their team is Among, Guido, and then Moon. But when Moon went out, he's more the facilitator for that offense, and he was giving Gomez all he could handle, and even Manley this game and last.
I thought Gomez held his own, and like I said, unfortunately, obviously we're not on the San Diego podcast. I did listen to Two Balls on Mic with Alan Underwood. They didn't really mention. Now I think they record Tuesday like we normally do, so they hadn't had anything on there. But to me, it looks like it was probably a fairly serious injury, just because his foot got planted and it rolled on the knee. Hopefully, it's nothing serious and speedy recovery for Nick Moon for that, because if they did lose him for an extended period of time, that will unfortunately weaken their team, which, hey, that's not necessarily a bad thing as a San Antonio fan.
Well, especially with that race with Colorado, being barely ahead of them.
So on to the goal here. Tainer with the hockey assist, I believe. And he got that out a little bit wider this time.
Nacho flexing.
I mean, that was an amazing individual effort. He won it, corralled it, and then buried it. And that's our offense right there. Lob it over the top.
That's what's the second one in multiple weeks where they've had that long direct pass.
Yeah, they lob it over the top, put pressure on you, and you make a mistake.
The one thing is our forwards are very physical. If you saw how he kind of brushed him off the side. And, I mean, he did it the right way, too. So it wasn't like it was a foul. I mean, he out-muscled him and got that ball and was able to bury that goal on the corner.
Yeah, Riley got treated like he was at RGV last night. Or last week. Just missed.
Head of Among and over the crossbar. Among sends it wide.
Yeah, Among and Tainer were getting into it all night.
Yeah. Metcalf across goal. Moshabani sends it to the top of the six.
So I won't lie to you, and I even tweeted this. I didn't think it was a real PK, but watching the video here, he does clip him. So I think it is.
It just looks reckless. The swing looks reckless. It makes it look worse than it was. He clipped him, but not.
Right there is when he clipped him. Now I do think the San Diego player sold it, which is what his job is to do. For that here. So Rafa wants to talk about the ball placement here. And I believe it was you, Robert, that told us a little bit about leading up to the ball placement. PC was improving the field. I don't know if that was you, but I heard somebody talking to me about it, that PC was dancing a little bit in a certain spot on there, unbeknownst to the ref while he was tending to other matters here. But Rafa, go ahead, Robert.
I was gonna say I didn't bring it up, but PKs are become almost like a mental back and forth. There's so much shithousery that goes on. You're bumping the guy, you're looking at him, and even Jordan said he stares in his face. Each one has their little thing. They're just trying. It literally is trying to throw him off their game, like a free throw in basketball. You're just, if you watch, they go up to the guy and just say something in his ear, just the most random thing to get him thinking about something else, and it breaks his concentration. That's the key to that stuff.
Just playing mind games.
Yeah, exactly.
Rafa, your thoughts? Yeah. Your thoughts about the placement of the ball?
Yeah, if you can kind of see where the ball, I mean, you can see the shadow or the circle where the PK's at. You can see the ball's leaning towards, Jordan's right. And I think that gave away the direction of where the ball's going to go to. And then also kind of looking at him, he didn't look very comfortable or very confident taking the kick, and he wasn't like very energized about doing it, and just a great save by Jordan there to preserve the lead.
And it's almost like his reaction, like when it was saved, he kind of like stalled a little. It's like you said, he wasn't invested. Like as soon as he hit it, then he goes and then he reacted a little bit late. Guido.
That's what listening to Alan and Two Balls and a Mic, that was their biggest complaint was his reaction. Because Jordan did spill the ball out. It was open. You have Vassell that gets to it before.
He looks defeated, though. He looks defeated, yeah.
So.
Like he quit on it. One thing I can say about the PK is I'm really proud and excited that, it was Jordan's first save, and that's one of the criticisms, if any, that you hear about him is that his PK ability. Like in the past, I've heard rumblings about that, and it's good to build confidence because once again, that situation is straight mental, and once you have the confidence, it makes a world of difference.
I will say this: we looked at the stats for the Loyal. Guido, that was his second attempt. He made the first one, missed the second one, but San Diego on the year is 4 for 8, so they're 50% on PKs, which, in my opinion, is it's something that's I don't know if they're not working on it or they're just like San Antonio was 2017. I think it was 2017, right? Where if it became to PKs, it was like crap. For that here, but looking at the stats, 43-57 on possession, not shocking. We had 16 total shots, 4 on target. They had 11, 5. We did have 5-2 corner kicks here. We were offside 4 times. Fouls 15-13, so pretty even. Only 1 yellow card for us, and 2, but that yellow card, when we get to it, could become very important down the road. They did miss 1 big chance. Passes, we were at 70%. They were at 76. Long balls, we completed 27 out of 68. They completed 33 out of 69. 21 tackles to 20 for them. Interceptions 16-9 on the midfield, and they had 16-13. I thought it was a fairly close match. Could have went either way. I thought it was a fair result for that here. Your thoughts on San Diego and San Antonio? I know for me personally, I would love to see both of these teams at full strength because we have not seen that yet. But your thoughts on that?
Like I said, it's like the first game we're not at full strength. We had academy players on the bench, but we ran out of gas. Like I said, right after halftime, to keep them 0-0 it just showed that we have our team can kind of mix it up with them. I think this game was going to be a different result. I think we were going to go out there trying to kind of flex our muscle, try to get it. And like I said, as long as we got the lead, I think that was going to play into San Diego not doing well, because they don't play well from behind. And I think we haven't lost a game when we scored first. So that just shows.
When we've scored it all, period.
Yeah.
The only time we've lost is when we've been held scoreless.
Yeah. So it just shows that getting the lead is important for, setting the pace of the game and so forth. And especially, like I said, keeping our defensive shape once we score. We gave them fits. They really couldn't really muster up anything. I know they had some chances, but still, it wasn't much of a threat. And then they looked frustrated towards the end of the game. They just couldn't get anything going. So that's a good result for us. And like I said, maybe, we're at full strength. Who knows what's going to happen if we do meet up and maybe in a semifinal or in the final.
And to be fair, probably why they're a little bit frustrated is in their last 5, they've only won 1 and lost 4. And that includes 1-0 loss to Birmingham, 3-1 loss to the Roots, 3-1 loss to Monterey Bay, and then a 1-0 loss to us. So for San Diego, not the best form right now, which has allowed Colorado Springs to kind of sneak back into contention for that second slot for that here. For San Antonio, the biggest thing is it puts them 11 points clear with a game in hand for the race for the number one slot for that here. So before we get to player news and looking ahead, I guess we should probably just go ahead and look at the standings here since I have them up. So looking at the East right now, Louisville City is in first place at 60 points. I've already credited Memphis with winning. They're up 3-0 on Charleston in the first half. Of course, if that changes, I'll look foolish, but giving them points because they are at home and they are playing Charleston, and I don't see them coming back. Although Charleston did pull off a win against the Rowdies last week, if that makes sense. Rowdies in third at 54 points. Birmingham Legion tied with them at 54 points, but they played 2 more games than the Rowdies. Pittsburgh lost 2 Riverhounds on Wednesday, so they're at 52. So 4th and 5th, that'll be a must-watch match in the first round of the playoffs. It's just determine who probably will host the match. Miami FC, Detroit City. Really, the last 2 spots, I know they haven't clinched as of yet, but looking at the max points, both of them could most likely clinch this week because Indy's max points is at 50 points and Detroit City's at 46. So odds are that's the order of the 7. I think the top 3, you could probably still see a little bit of order. I think 4th or 5th, I think those 2 are set now, determining which order. And Miami, Detroit City, who finishes 6, who finishes 7, does it really matter? Well, I guess it does if you have to go to Tampa or go to Memphis. So I guess that does matter along those ways. Looking out west. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say Miami. It's on a little streak right there. So I don't know if Tampa Bay really wants to face them. They're picking at the right time.
Yeah, they started scoring of late. Yeah,
and Miami and Tampa are rivals, so that would be a very interesting match to see. Looking out west, San Antonio. At this point's running away at the West. I don't think there's any dispute. They're the only team that has clinched the playoff spot because the West is still crazy. San Diego, Colorado Springs within a point of each other, 52, 51 points. Sacramento, game in hand, so don't sleep on them, which we'll see next week at 46 points. New Mexico, who we face this week's at 42. So if they continue their slide, they could slide down into the contention. El Paso's at 40 points. Vegas didn't play because their field got flooded because they don't check the field and they had a pipe break, and by the time they caught it, it was too late. Vegas is being Vegas at 37. Galaxy, they lost to Orange County. And our fan favorites, Judd got a red card and Harvey got a red card, which Harvey's ended up being a 3-game suspension. So it was a major red card.
The team's a bunch of dirt. They're a bunch of dirtbags.
RGV's on a roll, 36 points. The Roots at 36 points. Watch out for Monterey Bay at 27 games, 35 points. Rising. They're still letting them hang in it despite the results, 32. I know the Land of Rising is not happy with a whole lot of things right now. And the defending champs got a double victory over LA Galaxy. They won on Saturday, and then this week here, they at least got their stadium for one more year. We'll have to see what happens after 2023. But I think for them, at least, that gives them time to put together plans and stuff if it can't be worked out. I know relationships between the city of Irvine and Orange County probably soured quite a bit just with the relationship. I love how the city of Irvine's like, hey, you don't have to be mad at us. We didn't do anything, when evidence shows the other way. So,
it's a public pressure. They're caving to that. That's what politicians hate. They hate that.
Well, it's the pressure, and then to me, how are you putting a MLS2 team that doesn't draw into the stadium? I understand they want more points. I understand that they'll probably put turf on it. It wouldn't shock me if next year that you see turfs on the field as opposed to grass, which they want to be able to use that field as much as they can. So it makes sense. And to be honest with you, I've said this on Twitter. I do think turf fields, especially in the lower leagues, are going to become probably more the norm, and it's not just going to be here stateside. I think you're going to be seeing that, throughout the major leagues as well. For that here. So, playoff wise, though, to kind of look out for, El Paso doesn't control their destiny, despite them being sixth. They have their max points 52. Monterey Bay at 56, RGV at 54 trump them. Vegas at 55 points, but without Trejo and others, I question whether they're going to hang into it. So to me, don't sleep on Monterey Bay, RGV sneaking into the playoffs once again. RGV once again for that here in Monterey doing the roots last year and sneaking in. So which would be kind of interesting. Colorado and San Diego would face RGV or Monterey Bay. So lots to pay attention to on that here. So let's turn to some San Antonio FC player news for that here. If I were to ask you guys today if San Antonio was going to bring in a position for a player, I'll ask you, Rafa, first, and then I'll ask you, Robert. What position do you think that they bring in?
I would think center mid. I mean, we are kind of in there. Got a playmaker, but we don't always get what we wish for.
Robert, if prior to the news, if you thought San Antonio was bringing in a player, what position?
Center back. I just think like with the injuries, to me, it'd be the position like not necessarily to start, but to tide us over until the other guys get healthy. I saw Garcia back, so that made me excited, or at least in practice. So hopefully that translates to him coming back soon. But center back is the one that kind of shot out to me. Unless something is, and we talked about it, so unless there's something we don't know or about to know.
Well, San Antonio threw a wrinkle, and they added Jack Lynn, who is on loan from Orlando City B of the MLS Next Pro League in Orlando City SC. You gotta like Jack's numbers.
He's the leading scorer in the MLS Next Pro.
He ended up finishing third.
Did he? I thought he was up there.
He was. He finished third. He was leading. He had 15 goals in 18 matches, four assists. I reached out to Phil Grooms, who used to run the USL show before his team decided to go to MLS, which will kick off next year. But he mentioned Jack is a classic number 9 poacher, gets in good positions, relentless, and of course athletic. Good finisher. I think he's similar to Dom Dwyer, but not he wasn't sure if another person that I tagged into it. And as you mentioned, he was the leading scorer in MLS Next Pro till he got hurt. So, which brings into questions here. Dylan and Patino are on the injury list. The other caveat to Jack Lynn, to be eligible for postseason play, he has to play in 5 matches one of which has to be before the cutoff date, which is September 23rd. So technically, San Antonio has 6 matches left, 2 before that match. So you have New Mexico on Saturday and Colorado Springs on Tuesday. So if San Antonio is planning on having him play in the postseason, you got to figure he's going to be in at least one, even if it's a late sub, because he can't just be on the 18. He's got to actually appear on the field. So you got to figure Marcin, if he's not playing him up front, we'll be saving a substitution late in the game to get that check mark cleared here. But
is he going to be our Antoine Griezmann, like in Atletico, trying to save some money?
No, it's a foregone conclusion. He's going to get his minutes. I mean, you wouldn't bring someone this late in the season with the intent of not like And it may, and I'm really hoping, like we talked about, my thing is I'm hoping they're going all in to deal with some of the fatigue, some of the injuries. Hopefully it's nothing more major than that, like someone going back to on loan or or an injury is more severe. But
That's I'm
there may
not
be a
going to
little
put it out there, but yes, we won't talk about somebody going back. But and I don't
or
really
some
want like the
fatigue.
alternative of somebody being hurt, but Dylan and Patino are on the injury list. And especially Dylan, he absorbed a lot of minutes early in the season
Mhm.
with all that wear and tear. And you have to wonder if maybe something just kind of caught up. And then
We're just going all in.
Rafa mentioned Patino does have a
Yeah.
little bit of injury history.
Here's the thing now it kind of dawned on me, for him being a poacher, playing the number 9, that's Patino's spot, because you have Dylan on the outside, so it may not be more of the Dylan, maybe more of the Patino, because remember Patino's been out twice with that injury, and I'm wondering if he re-aggravated it again, and said, for if you're gonna sub somebody for that position, that's Patino's position. Because you have Adidran on the outside, you have Perron on the outside, Dylan plays on the outside, Collier plays on the outside. So our number 9, like I said, is Patino, and if he's going to play that number 9, then there's something wrong with Patino as far as injury wise, and maybe they're saving him, for the playoffs. They want to keep, manage his minutes and they say, hey, let's get somebody else that can do some damage these last few games, and then he'll be ready to go for the playoffs.
That's what I'm saying. Like he's always kind of been in a pitch count though. If you think about it, like Patino hasn't played a full 90 for my recollection. So
he did play the Oakland game, did.
But typically, like they've always had him like on a certain amount of time. They pull him out, injured or not. Like so, maybe this is another way to kind of manage his minutes. Get someone else who can poach and who can score. And like I was telling Harry, maybe we're just going all in. Maybe it's a situation where we're realizing we have an opportunity to potentially do bigger things. So let's bring in every possible asset we can. That's I'm hopeful as a fan.
And I think for for Jack, it'll be good for him to kind of get that step up, because he's hoping to take that next step with Orlando City next year, and postseason minutes, assuming that he's going to be on the roster and on the pitch. For somebody that's been able to get braces and hat tricks and stuff fairly, I don't want to say fairly easy in MLS Next Pro, it'll probably be good to see him face some quality. I did also get some information that he has also played USL Championship before, when he was in the academy. So this is the league that he is somewhat familiar with for that here. So it'll be interesting. I think it caught everybody off guard that San Antonio FC brought in a player, but I think if you're bringing in players, you want to have that opportunity, for them to play postseason for that here. So there is one other topic that I do want to bring up here for you, and I haven't teased it yet. Tanner and PC yellow card troubles. Are you guys aware if you get 11 yellow cards, you sit 2 games, not 1, 2 games? Tanner's 1 card away, and of course PC's 2 cards away. So do you protect them? Do you protect them? And like I said here, I love Tanner, but that yellow card that he got, against San Diego, and I think it was a valid yellow card, don't get me wrong. It ends up being fairly huge, and even PC, picking up that card. And as we've talked, the schedule's not easy. Playing Sacramento, playing New Mexico, playing Colorado, playing away at Birmingham and in Pittsburgh. Those are 5, still 5 playoff teams. Do you guys try to just let them roll with it, or do you guys try to finesse the situation a little?
I just have one question though, like about before I answer, is like, does it resets when the playoffs reset? It doesn't.
It resets when the playoffs reset. Yes.
So at this point, yes, you just let it ride. You have 5 playoff teams. It's not like you got a Loudon and or like one of those like horrible teams in the East. You can kind of manage it or try to figure out. Right now, you're playing all the same caliber teams on the road and the home. Let it ride. Let it ride. You play your game. You play to win. and let the cards fly where they may. Literally.
No, here's the situation: would you have to sign a player, another center back, because of that situation? Just kind of finish the season, or are we expecting Garcia back to maybe, like I say, for go in for Tainer to kind of avoid that a bit as well?
Well, Matt
Or
mentioned
and then
Garcia, and Jonathan Check mentioned that he was on. He was back. I believe he said he was back on the pitch last week. So I would expect that you're going to be able to see him. You still got Manley, you still got Kamiri. So especially if you're going to a back four, I don't know if you would against these teams here. I think you still got enough depth to be able to do that. Especially if Garcia's back healthy, along those lines.
Yeah, because even with PC also as well, I mean, you can probably start Nicky Hernandez for a couple games just to kind of avoid,
Yeah, PC to me, he's got 2 cards that he has to really worry about, but we know PC.
He's gonna need another card or two. He's just going to. He just does. Like he can't play any other way.
That's his nature.
Yeah.
But yes, as far as the playoffs, from my understanding, unless it's a red card on the last match, it does not carry over. Now, it may carry over to the following season, that first game, but for the playoffs, unless it's a red card in that last match in ours, which would be against Orange County, I don't believe it would carry over. Matt also asked, do you think Larrera makes it back soon?
When you sit out the bye week on the red card?
I think you got to play, buddy.
Yeah.
Any other thoughts on Tainer or PC in the yellow cards? They're really the only two that are in any concern.
I mean, just play your game. Like I said, like to me, I'm not worried about that. That's what I've actually found like really positive in a way. Like we've gotten the cards like you're describing, but like it's not like last year or the year before where it's like dumb red cards. It's just like ignorant play. Like they've literally played aggressive, but a controlled aggression. So where like we, like you said, score a goal and then play a choppy game. It's gonna get chippy, but they've actually found a way not to get to the point where they're like up 3-0 and all of a sudden get a red card and we're tied 3-3 against RSL last year. They're finding ways to kind of control the aggression, but still play the way we need to. But the bottom line is like, we can't play any other way because that's how we win. And we even brought it up in the other podcast, Harry, when we were in New Mexico. Like we score 1 goal and the game gets chippy and ugly, and you got to turn the TV off if you don't like chippy and ugly soccer. It's not going to be pretty 10 passes in the goal. Like don't look for that. You're watching the wrong game if you want to see that.
That's what Dominic was complaining about again.
Yeah. So just kind of touch base. We did have an invite to Jacob and Earl. Unfortunately, both of them had things that popped up, so they were unable to come. And Seth mentioned of Somos Mas that he was unable to do it because he was coaching his son's football team for that here, which is understandable. I know Friday nights is kind of hard to do for that here, but head-to-head series, 3 wins for SAFC, 5 for New Mexico, no ties. Really, the matches haven't been close outside of the April win in New Mexico, where we may have been gifted a penalty because it was right on the line. But we ended up getting a 1-0 win there, and then of course they got the 1-0 win, the handball against us. So when there is the close games, typically there is something that goes wrong. But other than that, most of the matches are actually there was a 2021 September 1-0 win for here in Toyota Field for New Mexico. But before that, it was 3-0, 5-0, 2-0, 3-0, 4-2,
5-1. Wasn't it 5-1 or Piranha scored twice?
No, that was the 5-0 in August. But it's a series that New Mexico usually travels well. Hopefully, I get to talk with Peter, their owner, before the game here. Usually, I've been able to talk to him for a few minutes. He's one of the better owners in the league. that'll come to the Crocketeers tailgates and say hi, and then I usually say hello to them at the stadium for that here. I know they're missing their top scorer, Nico Brett, who's out. They're dealing with some injuries. Robert and I were on the show kind of talking about them. I think they're one of the older teams. They're having problems scoring. They feel a lot of it has to do with their midfield. Like their deep back defense is solid. They got some name brand forwards, but it's the midfield that's doing it. So, Robert, your thoughts on how San Antonio faces up against New Mexico and how you'd like to see them attack?
The biggest thing is like, and we touched on it in that podcast, is like, I want to see them come at them early, play physical, put one up on the board, and then just at that point, dirty the game, like literally like make it aggressive, make it choppy, and continue to make them press forward in hopes of making that second, if not third mistake. And then it gets to the point where they just throw their hands up like 6-0 Monterey Bay. You got to frustrate them, make them not want to continue to play. And the biggest trump card that people don't talk about is playing in San Antonio, especially if you come from other environments. I mean, maybe not New Mexico, but the humidity. We have a huge advantage when they come here, and you see those players start collapsing. I mean, Blanchette is a whole nother story, but that right there is a big home field advantage. You're playing in a hot, humid environment. You're down 1-2-0. Do I want to continue? I mean, like I said, that causes players to quit. Like, you know what? Let's call this game a wash and move on. So that's what I want to see.
So the referee has already been assigned. He's reffed one New Mexico United game, which was the Miami FC New Mexico United game 3-0, which he issued 7 yellow cards. And he was also the referee for San Antonio Oakland, which was a 1-1 draw where he issued 7 yellow cards as well. So solid referee. Just looking at it here, usually 5 to 7 yellow cards seems to be what his average is. For that here, so especially in a physical match like this.
Yeah. I remember that one New Mexico game where they had like 14 yellow cards and all they got red. It's like, what the hell? I've never seen so many yellow cards in a game in my life. It's like, one for you, one for you.
So, Rafa, how do you see this match going?
I think for us, we need to be the aggressor. And like Robert said, we got to put one up on them. I think once we get up a lead, we don't give up leads and so forth. We're pretty much secured the whole way. I know New Mexico is going to be the district because, like I said, they're hanging on as far as with the playoffs. Mm-hmm. They're kind of sliding down, and then especially with their injuries. Our midfield is a lot better than theirs, and if Abu and PC have to dictate the pace of the game. They got to be very accurate with their passing on the attacks to get into feet of Sam and Collier, Pirano, or whoever else we have on top, just to create those chances and put them away, because like I said, if we can put these guys away, great. We can sub out some of our players because come Tuesday night we got another tough one, and that team's trying to stay, at least host a game. In the Western Conference, which is Colorado. Like I said, they're 1 point behind San Diego. So just putting these guys away, we've done it before. I think we can do it again. We just got to get on them, just kill their spirit and execute. And that's the thing. We got to execute and make sure we're executing well on the passes on the attacking side of the field.
Robert, any other comments that you have on the New Mexico match before we transition to World Cup kits?
my I see you working there. Well, at this point, like we talked about on their podcast, I want to win this game with either a Patino, a Denerin, even a Jacqueline handball to corral it and score. It's payback time. And I'm gonna look away. I'm gonna say I didn't see it. I was in the concession line or something, or in a Santi punch ball. Nah, but other than that, no. I mean, 3 points, healthy. We'll come out healthy, have fun. Like I said, maybe see some guys back like Garcia. All this stuff will be positive. So positive for the things going forward.
I think that this game we got to really flex our muscle, like show the other Western Conference when you come. like I said, you have to. When you come here, you're not gonna win. You're gonna, we're gonna eliminate you in the playoffs. So, and I think these guys are real important for us to build that momentum.
And it's crazy to think big picture. You want to like still take an advantage over Louisville because if we can, I don't want to talk about getting ahead of ourselves, but if you could host, I don't know. What I want to talk about it yet. I don't want to jinx it.
All right, I'm just trying to find the best link of kits here.
Don't do it. Don't do it, Harry. There's no good link. There's not a good link about what you're about to show me. What you're about to show me. There's no good link.
All right, so we'll just go with SB Nations. They didn't have England's kit, which is not getting very good reviews, kind of like ours. So we'll start with England's kit for that here, and this is from Daily Mail UK. For that here, I believe this is the white kit is their home shirt, or no?
Yeah, that's
their home shirt. They don't like
That's
so
okay.
the home kit for that
That's
here.
okay. It's Nike. It's Nike, right?
Yes, Nike.
Mhm.
I actually
that's
don't
what I
mind. I
saw.
like the color on the top now.
That one's
how it
that one's
kinda
pretty
blends
solid.
in. It's kind of plain, and then
That one looks like an old school Umbro, like when we used to wear Umbro.
Yeah, it's just nothing special, nothing
Yeah.
not special.
So then let's go over here.
No,
SB
please
Nation ranked the kit. So the best of the best I'd wear. They have Qatar here. I like kind of the stripes here, but I don't know if that's just the shading from them doing it. It's a Nike kit as well. I guess on the red kit seems kind of plain. Japan's, I like Japan's. I'm not gonna lie to you. Even the home and the way.
That's weird. The prism looking thing.
France.
Oh.
France tends to be kind of plain, right?
Mm-hmm. I don't, except when they used to be with Adidas, they had some good. Then some that really kind of popped their colors out. This one's kind of.
When they're
I think the jerseys for the last Euros. I think those were a lot better than these.
L3, Rafa.
Those are horrible.
We have the Independence Day today.
Those are like doormats. They look good on a doormat.
Well, that's what I'll show Matt's comment here. The U.S. doormat jerseys, but the only win Mexico is able to get against the United States is on the kit. So I'll just leave it at that. Germany, we kind of talked about here.
Those are slick. Those are slick.
I even like this one, the red.
Yeah,
those are super creative. Yeah, that's way outside the box. Those aren't their traditional colors.
The white one, that home jersey looks kind of similar, like what Philadelphia Union has. Something.
Yeah,
I think they have something similar to that.
But that color pattern is a traditional German.
Tier A that he would like, but not first choice. Brazil, the traditional yellow. You can't go wrong with that.
The away jersey is nice.
The cheetah print on the side. I like it.
You try to put a background to make it look good.
You're gonna see Vinny Jr. dancing in that.
That'll be popular in South Beach. I can guarantee it. Serbia, kind of plain red.
That's not good. What is that? That
I'm glad we don't have those.
Looks like a T-shirt. That wire looks like a T-shirt. Like with some weird logo on the front. That's how. That is horrible.
That's next year's jersey, away jersey.
Spain looks like, this looks like a Real Salt Lake kit.
Mm-hmm.
It does.
This kit's fire though. I like this one. I don't like the badge in the middle.
That's different. Though. That's different.
I think the badge should be up over here, but that may be traditional Argentina.
Classic.
Yeah.
This is nice.
That's a little weird.
But I like it.
A little different, yeah. Outside the box.
Wales, who's in our group, so far has the best kit so far.
That's super boring. That white kit is the same as ours. It's even more boring.
Poland, Nike kits.
Plain red, plain white.
The sleeves though on the white looks kind of interesting. Belgium, the old school B. And then I like that. I like Belgium's kits. They're all right.
Do they have
Ghana.
the flames on the side or something?
I
Yeah,
think it's a
over here.
flag, I think, yeah.
Ghana, always traditional. I don't know what the heck this is.
The little square in the front.
That's where they're going to put the number, right?
Yeah. Imagine
gotta
that. That's our home kit next year.
They got to put
God.
something there. They got to put something in the square.
They got to put the Alamo or something.
It's like school picture day. You got to put something there.
Morocco with a solid kit on both.
Mhm.
Although, dude, what is
That one's
Puma
great.
doing?
The red one's good, but the white one not so much.
Iran.
that?
Iran may have the best kits in our group here. It looks like here. The white one looks kind of sweet.
A little slick there.
The red one's pretty solid. Got to give it to Iran. Korea.
Is that pink or red?
What the hell is that next one? No, what's that kaleidoscope one?
That's Korea's probably
That-
away one. No, home kits are a lot of red, very little black. The away kits
That-
remind me of Dan Flash's shirt. So
That's like an acid trip right there. That kid is out of control. Like, what the hell's going on?
That reminds me of one of the guitars that one of the guys from Def Leppard has. It looks exactly.
all right, next kit's Matt's favorite team.
Ooh, all right.
The blue one I don't mind.
Yeah, the balloon's okay.
The white one, I don't understand the blue coming down, how it comes through there. The US flag, and then I don't know if you've seen some of the pictures with the logo from the World Cup that goes right off to the side of it. Dude, that's trash, dude. It's
What's even worse is look at the women's kit when they put it's like literally that FIFA logo's the same size and the same orientation as
Yeah,
the
they look
centerpiece.
the championship
It's
patch.
so dumb. It looks
Yeah.
dumb. But
Yeah,
I said I
just-
was going to talk about it, so scroll up.
Matt says looks like a Sunday League team. That's a Sunday League
Yeah.
team you couldn't play for, buddy.
It
And your
does.
team
It does.
and this Sunday League team beats your team.
And Matt, the good news is, and when we're hoisting the cup with those jerseys, it still looks good.
Yes. Well, let's worry about Mexico getting out of the group first. How about that? Saudi Arabia, not bad. Like the white kit with little hidden designs in it and jungle kit, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
Who is that? That's Nike. Senegal. Don't know what to say, man.
It doesn't have the square. It has like a. You put something in the middle.
Ecuador's running 3 of them.
Oh,
Yeah,
nice.
with Marathon.
Plain
Yeah, the
white
blue.
one, the yellow, and the blue. Blue looks pretty tight.
Yeah,
I
that's
like
our
the pattern on the yellow as well.
Yeah, the blue ones are away jersey. The white one's probably their third kit.
Hey, Matt, we're not talking about how long it took for you to get through college. 8 years.
Or the 8 times we beat you in a row. Dos a cero, senor.
Netherlands is tight.
That's not bad though.
So here's my question. Everybody else is getting cool jerseys with Nike except for the United States. What's up?
Someone didn't pay their bill or something.
Yeah, dude,
Australia?
that decoration, that concept with the Declaration of Independence.
Oh,
That kid is
dude,
fire.
this is just like the United States here. Come on,
Yeah, it's
Nike.
ugly. It's Oppo. It's Oppo. Yeah, it's like an Oppo. That is
Come
not good.
on.
The only difference is it doesn't have those little stripes on the
It's
sleeves.
That's
All right, no
stupid.
chance I
Neck
wear
and-
this in public. Portugal, okay, Rafa, you're gonna have to explain to me what the hell is wrong with Portugal's kits.
They like wearing weird kits. That's always been their nature. I like the white one. The white
This
one
looks like the bottom one looks like a Sunday League team. Dude,
Yeah,
it looks
that's
like
terrible.
it looks like one that I don't know if you've ever played like soccer games on your phone. You can go get this kit on the little mobile soccer games. The little half line, half red, half green, or half whatever color you want. That's what that is.
is that the ones from the soccer factory?
It reminds you of that US kit where it's like blue and red, and then none of the stripes match up, and it's like this.
What's up with the
that was-
sleeve
that
here?
was way worse.
The little green on the sleeve here.
I know I saw Ronaldo wear the jersey. He was wearing green shorts. and I
It
don't
looks
know.
better. Did
The
it look
white,
better?
I like the white jersey a lot better. But
The
this
white
one,
jersey's not bad.
The white
but this
jersey is
one-
not bad, but this one here,
It's not bad.
Yeah,
and
that
I'm
one
not a
was
kit. I'm not a kit guy, but I wouldn't even buy AJ that.
Like I have
No.
a Portugal jersey, but it's all maroon, but they have some green stuff, but that wasn't very good.
That's Croatia. I already know Croatia.
Yeah,
The
dude.
checkerboard.
I don't. I like Croatia's kits, dude. I think this is, I think
The
these
blue
are
one's
good
cool.
kits.
The blue one's real cool. Yeah.
This should have been the United States kit.
Declaration
This
of
should have been the
Independence,
United
that's the one.
States kit.
Or the
Should've
red
been.
Or the
checkerboard.
star, or
You
the
know,
stars and stripes. Bring it
You
back.
could have had, instead of the light blue, you could have had the white. You have the red
Or red.
stripe. Yeah. But that should have been the United States kit.
The way it blends in like that, that blue is pretty dope.
Uruguay.
Boring.
That's the
That is so
traditional.
boring. Go back to
That's
Uruguay.
their tradition. That's their
That's
traditional
traditional.
kit, though, right?
Yeah,
Their traditional blue. Their traditional home kit's always that light Carolina blue, or for that here. With that, so I don't have a problem with that.
That one's
This-
terrible.
This
That's like Ghana and the other ones we just looked at with the little center.
I guess- that's gonna be our jersey. That's gonna be our away jerseys next year for SAFC.
Oh, please don't. No.
They're gonna
So
put
I've
the Fiesta colors around.
No,
I heard
please
for
don't.
Canada, they didn't even order kits. These are the same kits they've been in, right? Is the story that I've heard. They're not even getting new kits. In their kits, like this is a t-shirt. Their white one, it's a t-shirt.
I guess they saw the U.S. jerseys. Are like, nah, we're just gonna
We're good.
we'll
Yeah.
keep these.
The worst is that they had that hype press conference when they come out, and I was like, dude, just stop. Stop.
I
throwing that
don't
in my
mind the
face.
red one. I like the different color, the lighter red, and with the pattern. But this is just, dude. It's like get a Hanes T-shirt. Put the logo on Nike.
Put a big maple leaf on it or something.
Yeah, something cool.
Costa Rica.
With New
That's
Balance.
ugly too.
New
That's
Balance
ugly.
makes some decent jerseys, but this one's
Those are
one's okay.
so not creative. That's so basic.
I like Switzerland's. That one's I like.
Yeah, they're
that's
neutral.
Trash.
They're all neutral.
We decided to put this QR code on the Switzerland kit.
That is so stupid. That is so dumb. Yeah, you're not wrong. That is weird. At least we're not at the bottom, but we're pretty close.
The only reason why we're not at the bottom is because SB Nation is a US kit. Let me see here who didn't have Tunisia.
we,
Let's see if-
we don't have a QR code. That's the only thing that saved us.
Tunisia World Cup kit. The Tunisian kit came
See, the U.S. needs to go to Hummel.
Almost nice too, yeah. Well, it's too late. Like, even though I bitch about it, I already ordered the blue one. I'm a lemming. Just like sign me up.
So this is Tunisia's.
Kappa.
That's nice. That's cool.
Kappa's always made nice jerseys.
Yeah, that's nice.
So imagine carrying that one.
Actually, maybe not. Well, it says it.
That's a
is.
nice. That's a nice jersey.
It was all right. Cameron usually has a pretty decent kit as well.
They're with Puma.
Oh crap! That's gonna be trash, is what you're
Yeah,
saying.
mostly all the African nations they're sponsored by Puma. It's very rare. I think South Africa is like the only one that I think that they're with Nike, I believe.
Yeah, they haven't came out with the Cameroons as of yet. For that here, so. All right, Rafa. What are we talking about? We got Premier League coming back this week. With that, last week they didn't play with the Queen, unfortunately passing away. For that here, which that was an interesting discussion. I thought it was the right thing to do because if a president had passed away, I don't know if professional leagues in the States would have played. And the Queen, especially a Queen that's been around for 50 plus years.
Yeah.
I do understand though the thought of, hey, being able to go out to the stadium, being able to, belt the national anthem, which they don't normally do, unlike us, and to be able to, do pride like that, where this weekend with the funeral on Monday, they are going to play most of the matches. There are a few of them that aren't being played, the larger matches that need more security. Obviously, security's been stretched a little bit thin with preparing for Monday and with all the events that's going on over in England. But what are we talking about on the world footy scene?
We did have Champions League this past week. There were some interesting games. Barcelona laid another goose egg with Bayern Munich. Tottenham had a setback. Chelsea had another setback too. I think they had a tie. Real Madrid got a 2-0 win without Benzema. So one of the players actually, it's kind of been coming up, and just keep an eye on him because he plays for Uruguay, is Federico Valverde. He's been tearing it up, and he may be the next breakout star from South America. And the guy's only 23 years old, but he's a switchblade. He can play him up top, midfield, back. He scored 2 really good goals this week, one in Champions and one in the league. So just keep an eye on him. And also there was something came out today about Vinny Jr.'s dancing. Someone I think one of the Spanish agents made a comment about it and used some kind of unchoice words, and I think a lot of people are defending him. Even Neymar came out to defend him and say, hey, there's no reason why you can't celebrate a goal. If you want to do your little dance, do your little dance. There really was no reason to make some racist remarks over that, because I say everybody celebrates their own way when you score a goal, so you're entitled to that.
So looking at the standings here, Napoli 2 wins, 7-1, goal differential +6. Liverpool in second, with negative with 3 points. Ajax with 3 points. I think Liverpool beat Ajax, right?
Yeah,
serves
2-1, I think.
And then Rangers, unfortunately, not performing well. Yeah, 4-0. Napoli. Oh, yeah, Napoli roughed up on Liverpool the first match, and then they won 2-0 and 3-0. So, Liverpool, Rangers, and Ajax, Napoli. So, if you're Liverpool, you're hoping for Napoli to be able to get that win, or are you hoping Ajax tightens it up?
I think Liverpool needs to just take this win, because Napoli, I think they're going to take care of business with Ajax. So, I think
Liverpool needs
Napoli,
a dose of confidence. Yeah. Liverpool's been in bad form in their league compared to normal.
So, this one I think is kind of surprising, right? With Club Rouge in first place at 2-0, Bayern Leverkusen in second at third, Atletico. I think it's Atletico Madrid, right? And third, and Porto, which I thought Porto was a decent side. I'm not as expert as you, but Bruges roughed them up 4-0. I believe that was at home for that here. So thoughts on Group B?
That's a surprise that Club Brugge from Belgium's in first place. I thought Atletico would be on top and then Porto second, or vice versa. Like I said, Atletico's not really doing well. Plus they have a big game this Sunday against Real Madrid at Atletico. So they haven't, like I said, ESPN. I know ESPN FC had mentioned about them. They're not playing well, but got to give it Club Brugge. They're on top, and they win a couple more games. Like I said, they'll punch their ticket for the knockout stage.
Group C, Bayern. You mentioned they're the class. Barcelona 3-0, or second with third. Inter with 3, and then the bye week team, Plzen. So to me, so Barcelona hasn't played Inter as of yet, right?
No.
So that'll be kind of deciding who's going to finish second, because I think most everybody agree Bayern's going to finish in the group, and we know Plzen will be finishing last. It's just a matter between Barcelona and Inter. That's really the matches of this group, right?
Yeah. Whoever wins between Inter, whoever wins a series between Inter and Barcelona is going to go to the knockout stage. The other one's going to end up at the Europa League.
Is it an advantage that the first match is away for or at home for Inter or and away
I
for
think so,
Barcelona?
because if they can have a really good result, I mean, that put, like I said, goal differential does. If, let's say, they tie up the series, goal differentials could come up, big on this group stage, especially, like I said, when you have Bayern Munich, they're also kind of pouring it on you. You want to kind of counterbalance your goal differential.
Group D, Sporting CP 2-0, Tottenham 1-1, Frankfurt 1-1, and Marseille 0-2. Sporting CP a surprise. They beat Frankfurt 3-0, and then they roughed up Tottenham 2-0.
Yeah, they're the surprise there. I thought Marseille and Tottenham would be the class of that group, but got to give it a Sporting. They're not going in no fear. I still think Tottenham still gets into the knockout stage, but like I said, they got to be a little more consistent on these games.
Group E, probably a little bit surprising. AC Milan. Well, this is a tight group with 4 points. Dynamo Zagreb at 3. RB Salzburg at 2. Chelsea at 1. Chelsea lost to Dynamo Zagreb in, I believe that was the last match for
Tuchel, yeah.
Tuchel. And then the Potter came in and had a 1-1 draw against RB Salzburg. Is this Milan's group to win, or is it still kind of anybody's game with Dynamo Zagreb kind of being a little bit more of a spoiler than anybody had anticipated?
I think this is for Chelsea. This is do or die for them. They have to get a result
against Milan,
and it's a home game, so they have to win.
Yeah, that'd be home.
Yeah,
what Dictate says is some of those road games can be rough, and those little like those countries. I don't care.
Here's the interesting twist: is that the middle set they play home, they play back to back, so they're going to play Milan on the 5th, and then turn around and face them again on the 11th. So.
Yeah, these are two key games for Chelsea. They have to win at home and maybe get a tie at Milan to kind of stay in the race to at least maybe for second place. Milan, if Milan can get a tie at Chelsea and then knock them out at home, Milan will win the group.
Yeah, with their budget, there's no excuse.
Yeah.
So to me, Group F, it's not shocking that Real Madrid's in first place, but it is shocking that RB Leipzig is in last place, I think. Shakhtar Donetsk really roughed them up, and if memory serves me right, I forget the country that they're from. Ukraine. That's their first win in Champions League history, if I remember that correct. Is that right?
No, they've won some games before.
Okay.
Yeah.
But they're proven a solid team. RB Leipzig and last at 0. Obviously, Real Madrid at 6. Celtics got a draw, so 1 point. Can RB Leipzig get back into it, or
they're gonna have to really kind of step it up. They got to get that win back from Shakhtar, and then they got to take care of business with Celtic to at least get to that second spot. I don't think they'll challenge Real Madrid for the top spot. But, you got to give it to Shakhtar. They got a good win at Red Bull. Nobody thought they'd get a 4-1 win. So they'll put themselves in really good shape there in that group. And if they can get another, like I said, they have Real Madrid next. So, like I said, they're
in trouble.
Yeah. But I think that game's going to be played in Poland, I believe. I think that's where they're playing their home games at because of the war.
Group G, Man City. Haaland's goal has to be one of the goal of the years that he scored. It was just crazy. Dortmund at 3, Copenhagen and Sevilla at 1. And to me, this is Man City's group to win for it here. But Dortmund, Sevilla, that's a pretty tasty match. How do you see this one kind of finishing for second place?
So Sevilla needs to step it up. I mean, I thought there would be more in contention with Dortmund because it's going to be between those two. Like I said, I don't think anybody's going to touch Man City unless they just have a bad day. if Holland just misses and so forth. But like I said, Man City can't get it done in the knockout stage, so I'm not worried about them. Then when they
You
get
say
to
that they've never had a forward like Harlan.
Well, I mean, they had Gabriel Jesus, and he's knocking some goals in for Arsenal. So, I mean,
So PSG, Benfica, Juventus, and Josh Cohen, the American goalkeeper that played at Phoenix Rising, had a stop on Messi, although Messi did end up scoring. His team's, unfortunately, hasn't got any points. So it'll be interesting when they face Juventus. But I think this group's fairly decided, right? Or do you think Juventus can get back into it?
Well, they gave him a good scare. PSG was actually down on that game, but then they kind of got it together. Juventus is on a downward spiral. They're not doing well in the Serie A as well. There's some problems there. This is probably a game for them. They can probably steal, the way Juventus is playing poor ball. Benfica, like I said, they're a great team. Like I said, they were in the knockout stage this past year. More than likely, it's probably going to end up being PSG and Benfica, and coming out of the knockout stage.
Well, that's Champions League here. Any other final thoughts that you guys have, or anything else that we need to touch base on?
Let's talk about Josh Sargent with Norwich City, our new number 9. That guy's been on fire in the England Championship.
Well, I want to save the U.S. men's national team roster when Royce is here, and then we'll go over that here. Just there's a certain forward that plays in Germany that I don't understand why he's not on the roster, and Pepe is. I'll just leave it at that.
Is that Haji, right?
No. Was that PFOC? With
PFOC
Union
as well,
Berlin?
yeah. I know who they're getting. Yeah, PFOC as well. But
Why he isn't on the roster, and Pepe, Pepe had a lot of flash when he was in MLS, but since he's gone over to Germany, he hasn't done shit. I hate to say it.
He
hasn't done shit.
He's a dud. No, you're not wrong. He got loaned out. He's with some team with a G. I can't even pronounce it.
He's in Holland, right?
Yeah, they loaned him out, and he hasn't done shit with that team he loaned out to. No production. And
that's
they showed all these guys scoring.
That's my issue is, and I know this isn't. I don't think this is the final roster, but this is the one that you're setting things up. So
yeah,
and they have some games coming up right for the FIFA dates.
Yeah, they have a couple. They have a couple.
I think they're playing in Europe, right?
Yeah,
they have a couple in September. And Sargent had never done anything with the U.S. national team. I was always cursing his name. You watch him, he's just like, they keep talking about he never, and all of a sudden he's on fire right now with Norwich. He's like 6 goals in 8 games or something crazy.
Do you think he can be able to do that with the U.S. side, or because that's been the knock on him?
Yeah, sometimes it's about system. Like that's the thing. Like you can plug some guy in, even Pepe or whoever, you plug him in a system and it just does not work. And it may not translate, It's got to be chemistry.
So
as a 9,
Japan, September 23rd at 7:25, and then Saudi Arabia at 1:00 on Tuesday the 27th. So not the toughest, but I think it'll be interesting.
Yeah, they're playing the teams that have the similar styles within their group. Like I said, like Saudi Arabia has the same style like Iran, and like I said, Japan always have a good team, so it's going to be a tough one. And like I said, they have Kubo on that team, so it's going to be a good.
Japan's always disciplined and organized, and it's like there's not a star, but they all are it's a cohesive unit. It's kind of.
Oh, and for those keeping track here, already crowned Memphis the winner. They're up 4-0 now in the 82nd minute, so I'm still fairly confident that they're gonna pull it out.
I think Charleston got a red card for one of their players slapping one of the Memphis players.
Nice.
Yeah, he did a Patino.
Has Murray already crowned him now, or is it Tampa? I forget which one he likes. He likes winning. It's like I'm over that stuff.
Please, I know we give Nicholas Murray some grief, but he does a good job putting articles out, and doing power rankings isn't fun. And I know he put Detroit City as number 2, even though they're 7th in the East.
It's calculated. It's calculated. He does that. He does it. It's calculated. He's almost admitted it on Twitter. He does it he gets a rise out of us. And I was like, I'm not taking your bait anymore.
So, but yeah, I just do the emojis on it. Like, okay. But final thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said here, I want to watch a little bit of wrestling and finish the second half of my high school is playing football here to see if I can follow them and see if they can pull off the upset against Olathe.
Nice.
It's like Darius put a comment. I think he said that Charleston got 3 red cards. That's true. Memphis should be putting up 7 on them.
I don't think so, but let me see. It's possible. Charleston's undisciplined.
They have one of the worst away jerseys too. It's like, I don't want to get crap.
I actually don't mind it.
I mean, I like the Hummel jerseys, but the way the pattern kind of looks doesn't look appealing.
Like they urinated on themselves.
Kind of like the New Mexico jerseys as well.
Yeah.
They're white ones.
But don't say like the U.S. Splatter one. Or whatever it's called, the tie-dye. Tie-dye, yeah, it's just like
kindergarten.
A good idea.
He is right. He is right.
Yeah.
So Archer got a yellow in the 5th, and 66 got a second yellow. Harmon got a straight red in the 33rd.
That was probably
Chicoro 17th and yellow 17th, and 59th
unraveled
here for that. So yeah, they're down. They're playing with what, 8?
Mm-hmm.
8.
So they're probably playing like a 4-2-1.
They're just playing to get out of there. They're already worried about
4-3, 4-3 with no forwards.
They're down big. They're just taking bodies.
Just park the bus.
They lost their center back. They lost one of their wingers, and they lost an attacking mid or
forward.
Yeah, so basically this side of the pitch is open.
Yeah, no wonder you see all that red on that side.
Yeah, they're just taking bodies right now.
So
you're down big.
If Charleston does come back to win this, it would be the biggest comeback in history. Playing 8 on 11, and come back for Troy Muse's dad will not live that down Trey Muse's dad will not live that down if he does do that. So, but that's it for me, guys. Anything else that you guys have that you want to do before we get out of here?
Final thoughts. Well, shout out to Stendhal. Happy birthday. It's his birthday today, so shout out to him. And this final thought, like I said, going to Saturday, and like I said, big game, because it is like I think it's becoming a rivalry game with New Mexico, with that little history we have with them. And if we can pull this off, get the 3 points and inch closer, clinching that number 1 seed for the Western Conference and also that supporter shield. And so you have nothing to do on Saturday. Come fill out the stands with us and come cheer with us and see if we can get the 3 points for Saturday night and also on Tuesday.
Here's a question for you. Like last week's game was attended pretty well. How thin of a crowd, and I'm going to say thin because I think it's going to negatively impact the game. UTSA at UT kicking off at 7. How much, we know there's T-shirt fans and diehard fans on each side that come to SAFC games. But I think that's the first, I believe it's the first UTSA match for that here. Darius also mentioned there's a game at Heroes at 7. So parking will be interesting. So get there early.
Get there at 5.
Yeah.
Dude, I got there at 6:30 this last week because I ended up taking AJ and 3 of his teammates. The tailgate area was packed. I'm not sure what happened, but it was jam packed with I had to park through here, and I thought I was going to get blocked in because the kids started screwing around about the 85th, 89th minute. And I was like, look, you're not even watching the game. Let's just get out and beat the parking. So, because they were hungry, so we ended up going to Dairy Queen. But your thoughts on the attendance on this match going up against UTSA?
I think maybe a younger crowd's going to be up there, but also getting the tickets at UT it's difficult to get it. So, I mean, maybe a lot of them are going to stay home watch the game on TV, but
you can't. Well, unless you got the Longhorn Network, that's the only way you can watch it. So it's not even on a decent. Like I can't watch it. I don't have the Longhorn Network, so unfortunately, for me, like Austin FC matches, they're blacked out, so that'll be pretty much blacked out for me as well. So,
just like this last game was dollar beer night, so just like the Monterey Bay game, that seems to like attract like the more casual. Same with dollar beer night and the Rampage game. I would go watch that. I don't care shit about hockey. So it's like admissions, dollar beer night, so it tends to like fluff the crowd. So hopefully,
they're giving a pennant to the first 2,000. I already saw the picture of the pennant at like SAFC, and then it had this Hispanic Heritage Month on there.
Nice.
That might help.
So that might help, unless they're doing well. It is because today is Mexican Independence Day. I know some cities do have like celebrations like tonight or Saturday night. I know like in my hometown, they're at one of the plazas. They had like pretty much a party the whole weekend, so for a celebration for that. So
that's awesome.
But we still need fans. Like I said, the fans need to head out there. We need to get support these guys. Like I said, we're winning. We're first place. We need to kind of get a crowd that's going to intimidate the other teams, and that's what we've been lacking the last few, this year.
All right, guys. Any final thoughts that you guys have here? Matt says Market Square is having one as well here. Any final thoughts for you, Robert? I know, Rafa, you just did yours for that.
I mean, the big thing is stay hydrated, stay humble. Everyone show up, show out. Like may the best handball win. And hopefully we could teach these guys a lesson from last time. So let's go. So,
my final thought, number one, safe travel to all the New Mexico fans traveling. They typically travel pretty well for that. David Carl, the owner, Peter, like I said here, first-class organization. I know, we give them grief for that, just like we give Phoenix grief here for that here. But safe travel to any New Mexico fans. Like I said here, catch Somos Moss on there. They just had their 101st episode this past week here. Fun group with Jacob, Earl, and Seth. Robert's team Earl. I'm more team Jacob. But after they both stood us up tonight,
you're not lying.
But hope everybody has a great night, great weekend. We'll try to see if we can get a show on either Sunday night or Monday to preview. Number one, talk about this game and preview the Colorado Springs match. It just may be a quick, 2-3 person, or it might just be me to try to get something out there for that here. If you can, please like and subscribe to, on the YouTube's channel or, through the podcast drive. If you can leave a rating review if possible, it helps the show. Hope everybody has a wonderful evening. What's life without goals? And we'll see you guys later.